The world's a stage, both of them. The Truman Show is not just about waking up from a fake world. That's surface level. It's not just about a fake external reality. It's about how identity itself is constructed, and how consciousness breaks free when it stops identifying with it. You're not just inside a physical matrix, you're inside a mental one too. Truman isn't just trapped in a dome, he's trapped in a role, a script, a personality, a conditioned identity. And the real escape isn't leaving the world, it's realizing you're not limited to whatever content is in front of you, whether waking or dreaming. Because there are two matrices, the mental, dreaming, and the physical, waking. And both can bind you through identification. Now compare that to the Matrix. Neo doesn't just escape the simulation, he moves in and out of it. That represents willful awareness, the ability to enter experience, exit identification, and stay conscious inside the dream. Now this is where it gets deeper. You may have heard about Andrew Tate. Well, he used to run something called the War Room, which was like a fighting mentorship program. It was ran by the Tate brothers, but Andrew had a right-hand man. His name is Iggy Semmelweis, and he calls himself the world's greatest hypnotist. And there's a line that he says, "Your sons will marry their daughters, and your daughters will marry their sons. Your legacies will live forever, and you will enjoy the finest steaks and the smoothest cigars." On the surface it sounds strange, but symbolically, it's about interbreeding of states. The mind can enter awareness, awareness can enter the mind. This is lucid dreaming and lucid waking. Now bring in the Bible. Jesus holds the keys to heaven and earth. Heaven is the mind, the imaginal realm. Earth is the body, the sensory world. These are the two domains, the two channels that awareness sees through. Lucid dreaming happens when the light enters the dream. Lucid means light. It's like the TV is on. Before, it was just playing in an empty room. No one's there. Now someone's home. The observer is present. The light is on in the mind. That's enlightenment at the mental level. Awareness inside the dream. But here's the distinction. Just because someone is watching doesn't mean they're aware of themselves as the watcher. That's the next step. That's meta-awareness. Awareness of awareness. Now the next level. Meta-state awareness. Not just noticing awareness, but being able to observe and navigate states. To move between mind and body consciously. And the highest level, meta-state mastery. The ability to observe, navigate, and overlap states at will. To enter the mind, enter the body, and emerge both without losing awareness. Not stuck in one identity, not trapped in one layer. That's when the stage doesn't control you anymore. You can play the role without becoming it. God represents the directive capacity of the mental domain, the organizing principle of the mind, while Satan represents the egoic center of the physical domain. When you dream, you inhabit the mental domain. When you are awake, you inhabit the physical domain, and both can bind awareness through identification with their content. The goal is not to call one of them your master, but to replace them as the master of those domains. This is why the common interpretation of "the word becomes flesh" gets distorted. People read it as God becoming embodied, then interpret "the spirit returns to God who gave it" as a literal return to a disembodied heavenly realm. That reading is then used to justify the idea that this world is something to escape, that heaven exists somewhere else beyond the body, and that leaving the body is the solution. But that logic creates a contradiction. It turns embodiment into a mistake and makes escape the goal. In reality, the word is not a being entering and exiting forms, but pattern, command, and excitation, the ordering of motion into visibility. Let there be light is not creation from nothing, but energy driven into observable states through disturbances and threshold. The word becoming flesh is therefore the stabilization of pattern into structure, not divine exile. And when Scripture says the spirit returns to God, it does not describe awareness traveling to another realm, but the dissolution of mind as brain activity ceases, the loss of coherence that made both mind and awareness appear in the first place. The mistake is projecting awareness as something that exists independently of the system that generates it. The spirit realm, then, is not elsewhere, it is the mental domain itself. This is preserved linguistically. In Latin, anima refers to the soul, spiritus to mind, or breath, and corpus to body. The anima is what moves between spiritus and corpus, between mind and body, linking the two without being identical to either. The same structure appears in alchemy as sulfur, mercury, and salt. Salt represents matter, the body. This is supported in the Bible with the statement that Jesus makes, "You are the salt of the earth," directly linking salt to physical embodiment. Sulfur represents the mind, the higher directive principle above the body. This is not arbitrary. In Genesis, God rains fire and brimstone, sulfur, down from heaven, showing sulfur as something that literally descends from above, linking it to the heavens, the upper or mental domain. This reflects a threefold structure: body below, mind above, and the soul in between. The soul sits at the center, between the head, above the neck, and the body, below it, acting as the bridge between mind and matter. This is why heaven is not a fixed location or a permanent state. As it says in Revelation, God says, "Because you are neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out of my mouth." The point is not to remain in one extreme or fixed position. Heaven, understood as flexibility or fluidity of awareness, is not a place to stay separate from embodiment or mind, but the capacity to move fully within either or both without becoming permanently entangled in them. Mercury is the mediator. It is uniquely capable of existing as gas, liquid, or solid, light, fluid, or fixed. Because of this, Mercury represents the principle of consciousness itself, that which can move between mind and body without being bound to either. This is why figures like Hermes and Jesus embody this mercurial quality, the capacity to traverse heaven and earth freely, without fixation in either domain. Heaven and hell are not places that you go to after death. Both are modes of experience now. Hell is fixation, being trapped in thought, the mind, or sensation, the body, even if one of those feels like heaven. This ties into Hindu mythology. What we have is Mount Meru at the center, and Vishnu at the very top. The demons or the devils on the left are called the Asuras. The angels or the gods on the right are called the Devas. The demons have horns and tusks. They represent the beasts of the world, which correlates to our lower nature, but not inferior, the body. Our higher nature is the mind, but it doesn't mean it's more superior. Both mind and body have their pros and cons. The body can't walk through walls, but the mind cannot exist without brain activity either. So both have their limits. Awareness is the axis. Awareness or consciousness or the soul also relies on brain activity. So the mind and body are having a tug of war over what content awareness is fixated upon. The body wants you focused on the senses. The mind wants you focused on imagination. One says look outside your body, the other says look deep into the depths of your mind. So when Jesus walks on water, it's not only symbolism for mind over matter, or rising above the matrix of the material world. That's where a lot of people are stuck at. That's what a lot of people think awakening means. Jesus walking on water means lightness of awareness and non-fixation, the ability to not be fixed to whatever content, waking or dreaming. It means awareness itself being light on its feet, not identifying with either imaginal or sensorial.